The leading cause of death in the United States is cardiovascular disease, meaning heart attacks and strokes. Heart attacks and strokes affect almost 40% of all Americans. It's ever the more so tragic because because they're all needless deaths. Nobody has to have a heart attack or a stroke. There's even areas of the world today where you can look at studies done on people where they had no heart attacks and strokes, like the Catawba Island study where those people have no heart disease, no high blood pressure, and their ancestors had no heart disease and high blood pressure. This is a disease that's the result of nutritional ignorance. So we're dying of the diseases of our knife and fork. It's not only does nutritional excellence prevent heart attacks and strokes and dementia, but it reverses it. In other words, most Americans think their answer to having high blood pressure and high cholesterol is going to their physicians and getting cholesterol-lowering drugs and blood pressure medications, which maybe lowers your risk of heart disease by about 10%. But if you want to lower your risk by 99%, change your diet. Dietary excellence is 100 times more effective at preventing future events like heart attacks and strokes than is medication. The medications function as a permission slip. They give people the false sense of security to think that they're going to be protected, and they can just keep eating the food that caused the damage to begin with. They get heavier, their atherosclerosis continues to advance, and the inevitable consequence is they suffer and die from heart disease needlessly as a result of conventional medical care, which never addressed the cause of disease. This is a dietary-induced disease, and the solution is dietary, not medical. Well, talking about the dangers of fast food, there's so many different dangerous ingredients and carcinogens in fast food, but what people don't recognize that one of the most dangerous ingredients is just eating fried foods. Because when you take potatoes and you fry them in oil, especially in a fast food restaurant, where they're cooking that oil for hours, heating it up, that oil, becomes rancid. That oil oxidizes. That oil is now a carcinogen, a mutagen, a teratogen, which means it doesn't just cause cancer, it can change your DNA to cause birth defects in your offspring. We're talking about heated oil being so carcinogenic that even one serving of commercial French fries a week, just one serving a week, is linked to a 26% increased risk of breast cancer. Even working in a fast food restaurant, just inhaling the fumes from those oil frying vats can cause disease. So it's a serious issue. So we're talking about that the World Health Organization has declared processed meats, barbecue, grilled meats, fried foods as a class 1 carcinogen. In other words, these foods are not, class 1 carcinogen is the same category as asbestos and cigarette smoking. These aren't suspected carcinogens, they're definitive carcinogens. To eat them, you have to be insane. You have to be insane to eat these foods. They're so dangerous. Even moderate use can cause cancer. But the problem is that when you do eat them, it makes you insane. It makes you addicted, and you lose your intelligence. In other words, what I'm saying right now is that these carcinogenic foods don't just create cancer and heart disease. They also destroy brain cells. In doing so, they make people less intelligent, less ability to concentrate, increased risk of depression and mental illness. So we're talking here about the sweets, the ice cream, the sugar, the fried foods, the grilled and processed meats, all form this umbrella of damage in the body. It doesn't just damage you peripherally. It doesn't just damage your heart and your lungs and your kidney and your blood vessels. It damages your brain. It puts a fog over your mental function. So you're no longer creative. You no longer can come to solutions. And then people think they're all stressed out. And they have to eat these foods to reduce their stress. And they don't understand that the food itself, that the addiction, is what creates the stress to begin with. It takes away their ability to fully come to creative solutions in their life and to solve the problems they face in life. The food and the addiction is the problem. It doesn't make your stress less. Continuing the addiction makes your stress worse, keeps you in a vicious cycle of pain and sorrow and tragedy your whole life. The key is to get rid of your addiction, to stop cigarette smoking, to stop being an alcoholic, to stop snorting cocaine, to stop eating fast food and junk food and sweets and processed foods and fried foods. It's the only way to have a quality and a quality life, quality of life in your later years with your full mental faculties intact, and your only chance to really have a happy golden years. People live their whole life. They work like a dog their whole life. and they imbibe in their pleasures, and they live for the stimulation, and they get to the point where they can work less, and their brain is shot, and their body is shot, and they're addicted to the medical profession, going back and forth to hospitals and doctors' offices and taking pills and side effects and going into being in emergency rooms and in hospital, and spend their whole life, and then maybe even in nursing homes. They've worked their whole life, and finally they get to the point in life where they can enjoy their lives, where they should be in great health and being vibrant and having a great, happy life, because now maybe they're financially more secure, and now they have all these medical problems troubling their life. It's ridiculous. The human body is designed to easily live between 95 and 105 years in most cases. The bell curve should narrow in when you're eating a healthy diet. By the bell curve narrowing in, I mean that the average age of death of like 78 or so was a wide bell, which means some may live to be 90 and some die at 60. A wide bell, you don't know what the hell's going to happen to you. It's just like throwing up the dice. You're going to be dead soon, or you're going to be stuck with half your body not functioning in a nursing home for the next 10 years. You're going to be demented and you're going to be dependent on your family to have to take care of you. And so we don't know what's going to happen to people. But when you eat a healthy diet, no matter what your genetics, the curve narrows. And even the people with weak genetics live to be in their mid-90s. And people with strong genetics may live over 100. But the point is the curve narrows, and you don't see the dependency and the weakness and the loss of quality of life between 60 and 90 years old. You see people enjoying their lives with their full mental and physical capacity without being in pain and being stressed out by medical conditions and medical problems. And then you're eating the American diet, and then you die, or you get sickly, and you get very sick, and eventually you die. And you die in a hospital. Then you die under medical care. I should say that you die under medical torture, because you're going to die anyway, but you got to be in a hospital and be prodded and pricked and try to get an extra year or week out of life. So instead of being died peacefully at home with your loved ones around you, you got to rush to the hospital in an ambulance so they can torture you for a week or two to keep you alive, so they can take so your money can be gone, your house can be gone, and all your savings, your whole life can go to these exhaustive and almost impossible efforts to keep you alive an extra day or two in a hospital ICU and torture you in the process. It's just, the whole system is insane.